Pass me the telephone, would you?" But Gwen's optimism proved to be unfounded. Call after fruitless call was made, interspersed between interviews of new clients and the hard work of trying to match the hitherto unmatchable, many of whom were matchless for very good reasons. Meanwhile, the rest of London was gearing up for the 1946 Christmas season, its first after a full year of peace. Throughout the world, the remaining post-war issues were limping towards conclusion. Borders, amorphous as ever, were negotiated and fixed by the victors over the defeated and the liberated. Terms of truces were settled and signed. The Americans and British combined their occupied zones in Germany, while the Soviets held tightly onto theirs, and the French straddled the invisible diplomatic fence between them. A delegation of leaders from the subcontinent flew via a series of hops to London to meet with British leaders, then flew back, without accomplishing much. The Persians invaded Azerbaijan to the bewilderment of the Allied powers, which hadn't been paying close attention to that region. American coal miners decided not to go on strike before the new year, enabling much-needed transportation of supplies to continue, and the steamer, Saxon Star, sailed into the Mersey from Canada with a shipment of more than 45 million eggs, enough to provide one for everyone in the United Kingdom, assuming such scrupulously fair distribution could be accomplished. But no clubs, church social halls, school gymnasiums, or other spaces of the right size were available, because of either prior booking, exorbitant price, or general unsuitability. The one possibility Gwen found was immediately vetoed by Iris. "But why?" asked Gwen. "It's going to be closed down," said Iris. "The police raided it for gambling recently, and they're going to have their license taken away any day now." "They didn't mention that when I spoke with them," said Gwen. "They were probably waiting for you to put down a non-refundable deposit." "How did you know about that, anyway?" "I was dashing out the rear door with Archie when the police were coming through the front. Quite exciting, I must say." "Why does this have to be so difficult?" complained Gwen in frustration. "I must have made 50 calls and there is not one legitimate hall available." "Legitimate," Iris repeated thoughtfully. Gwen looked at her partner suspiciously. "What are you thinking?" she asked. "What if we found a place that wasn't specifically a hall designed for this purpose?" asked Iris. "Like what?" "Remember the warehouse we used where we gathered all the parties incognito for our presentation of our investigation for the Royals?" "Of course," said Gwen. "But you can't possibly be suggesting we use that. It was dirty, it had broken windows, no decent lighting, and I doubt that the labs were in any state of working order, much less cleanliness, although I couldn't screw up my courage to try them. And we found it through Archie, which means it may be a storage house for who knows what contraband." "But that might add to the fun, don't you think?" Iris persisted. "The very illicit nature of it, the sense of danger. Dancing close to someone you've just met in the dim light, waiting for the clock to tick down to midnight. Think how many couples we'll match." "I should like to see the place again, to determine if it's feasible," said Gwen, "especially the lavatory situation. That would be crucial on New Year's Eve if we get enough liquor supplied, which, come to think of it, also may have to come through Archie. I never thought I'd say this, but you having a gangster for a boyfriend has been quite useful, hasn't it?" "And we've barely scratched the surface of what he can do," said Iris. "I don't think we'd want to dig any deeper than we already have," said Gwen. "Be fair. We've dragged him into more shady situations than he has us," said Iris.